Hi there, everyone.
Everyone.
This is Charlotte, one of the CNSs from King's, and as it is March, it is Brain Tumour Awareness Month. So I thought we could have a chat with one of our patients, one of our lovely patients. We've got Hannah here, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk to her about her experience so far and where she is on her journey and how she stays so positive. So Hannah, over to you.
Hi, thank you. So my name is Hannah Langton, and only good things happen to me. That is what I say every single day. So you need to say that about yourself. I was diagnosed with a grade 4 astrocytoma 18 months ago. So I'm 18 months into my journey now. I was diagnosed after I had a full tonic-clonic seizure and fell to the floor in front of my 2 young children, rushed to hospital and had a CT scan and was told you have a mass on your brain. Then had lots of scans, was taken to King's, to which we were then told actually they think it's a high-grade brain tumour. 2 weeks later, I then had an awake craniotomy, which was 10 hours long by the fabulous Dr. Labrador. And I was awake for 4 of those hours, which is something I am extremely proud of. I would say it was an incredible experience, and we sang Brittany Spears during my op. After my operation and I had recovered, 2 weeks and 6 days later, I started my oncology treatment, and that consisted of 6 weeks and 30 consecutive sessions of radiotherapy with adjuvant chemotherapy, which was oral. After I'd done that, I had 4 weeks off to rest, let my body heal, and I then started what ended up being 12 months of chemotherapy. Now, this again was oral, 5 days on, 23 days off. You can take it at home, so it wasn't too many trips to the hospital other than your monthly check with them. I really pushed through. Again, I didn't have to delay any cycles, which is something I'm really proud of. You hear a lot of scary stories about chemo, but you can do it. I have 2 young children, as I mentioned, and I felt very fortunate that I was able to do that treatment at home. I really focused on nutrition, movement, gratitude, and trying to still live my life as much as I could during my treatment. Radiotherapy hair loss was probably the toughest part for me. Although my hair has grown back now, I like to zhuzh it up a bit with a wig every so often, because once you have been partially bald or fully bald or had hair loss from radiotherapy, you change your outlook on how you look. It doesn't matter as much. I lost about 80% of my hair. My tumour was located here at the back, so all my hair, I actually had an exit side as well where I lost my hair, which I wasn't aware would happen. Day 13 of my radiotherapy was when my hair started to fall out. And again, I think especially as a female, losing your hair, I didn't know who my identity was, but again, 18 months on, I have a full head of hair, although this isn't real, and it does get better. I highly recommend castor oil, even on your bald patch. As soon as you start radiotherapy, it really helps the hair grow. I still do that regularly once a week and massage that in. And there's a lot of people that will say castor oil will help your hair grow should you want it to. I had the option to do 12 months or 6 months of chemo. I did do the 12 months. And I know a lot of people suffer from sickness, tiredness. They call it chemo brain, where you might have a bit of brain fog. But I am pleased to say I had minimal side effects, minimal. I felt quite tired after I'd finished my 5 days, but nothing that prevented me from being a mum, doing the chores. And I think I put this down to being positive, getting outside every day, even if it was raining. If you've survived brain surgery, you can get through chemo, you can get through radio, you've been through the worst of it. And if you haven't had surgery, you'll still be absolutely fine. You just have to believe it will work, and it will. There are some fabulous stories out there of people that have done really well, and one day I will be one of them as well, 18 months on, and I feel like I already am. I think really limiting what you read online really helped my mental health. I didn't find support groups were beneficial for me, but again, that's personal for me. And I think too much research can sometimes affect your mental health. That was priority, reading things that were positive only. And I think especially with a high grade tumour, it can be very scary. It's petrifying. And after surgery, if they haven't removed all of it, you still have that added fear. I had 40% of my tumour left after my surgery. And I'm thrilled that after radiotherapy and the 6 weeks of chemo, it started to shrink, the remaining. By 6 months, there was no evidence of residual tumour or enhancing tumour. And another 6 months on, I'm still in that position now. So hopefully that continues. And my advice would be, whilst you're on chemotherapy, whilst you're having radiotherapy, rest. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean that you're struggling. You need to give your body a chance to absorb the drugs, believe it knows what it's doing, and let it all work. I think focus on what you eat, because no one feels good when they eat 7 chocolate bars. But if you have a really nice salad, rice, whatever you really enjoy but is colourful, your body's going to thrive. And focus on keeping that immune system nice and strong so that you do bounce back each cycle. So when you have your bloods, your kidneys are fine, your liver's fine, and you can start the next cycle. But also don't be sad if you do have to. Your body just needs a bit longer in between cycles, and that's okay. You haven't failed. You just need to give your body more time. Lots of water, and cut out anyone that's toxic. I think only have supportive, positive, funny people around you. And that I've been very lucky that I have a very positive network around me of family and friends. And I think without them, I wouldn't be doing as well as I am. So I think really limiting what you read and who you see, and protect your peace. If you've had surgery and you're then on chemo, you are in the thick of it, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Some days it feels like it's never ending, especially when you get towards the end of chemo. My last 2 cycles, I wanted to jack it in. I was done. I said to my husband, I can't do this anymore. And then I thought, I've been through all of this. I just have to keep going. I have to show my daughters that you can do this. And I think personally for me, rock bottom was receiving the grading of my tumour, because I thought it was low grade. That was my rock bottom. So I knew from that point, it could only get better. And, when you get good scan results, celebrate, enjoy that moment, because you don't know what is coming. No one knows what's coming. No one knows when they're going to die. All you know is that you can enjoy every day, even when you're on chemo. Book little trips, book fun events within reason, and
Yeah.
and just be honest with your team. If you're feeling any seizure-like symptoms, or you do feel a headache can just be a headache. You will get headaches on chemo, and again, I wish I'd known that. A headache, it can just be a headache. You know the difference. You know your body, and just make sure you laugh. It can only get better. It really can only get better.
That's your like positivity throughout is just amazing. And when you said that in the last 2 cycles, you'd had enough, what was the worst part? Like, why did you feel like that?
I struggled to eat on my 5 days of chemo. I would eat, but I didn't enjoy eating. I felt quite nauseous. The anti-sickness really does work, the tablets that you're provided with, but I felt quite weak because I was struggling to eat. And I think it's the mental aspect of, the box says toxic on it, and you have to be very careful when you handle it. It has to be kept up high. It's the mental aspect of knowing what you're taking, knowing you're going to feel poorly the next day, or you might be absolutely fine. But I think my body'd had enough. It said, okay, for the last 12 months, we've had surgery. I'd actually had a C-section 9 months before my diagnosis. So I actually had 2 awake surgeries within a year, Charlotte. Wild. But I'd
Too
been
much.
my body had just said, I'm done, I'm tired, I'm sick of this, let's just heal. But I had to tell myself, I've not gone through all of this to stop at month 10 and not give it my all. And, you know, when I'm 80 and I'm on my deathbed, because I will make it to 80, I want to be able to say, I gave it everything. I have given this life everything positive, but also in fighting having a brain tumor, and hopefully inspire others that you can do this too. No matter what the prognosis, you decide what you're going to do with that information and how you're going to support yourself through your treatment. And it's not as bad as you think. I think when you hear the word cancer, tumor, chemo, you're going to become your own expert. And there are some real charities out there to lean on.
Okay, thank you. And if you were at the beginning of your journey, what's one of the things that you wish you knew thinking ahead?
I wish I knew how much hair I could lose. I wasn't prepared for that. I wish I knew that there would be days I felt completely normal and that it will get better. People would say, oh, you know, it's just hair, or you're doing so well. But inside, I was just torn apart. But it does get better. It does get easier. It gets lighter. And you do smile again. You do feel normal. You know, when I walk my girls to school, I feel like me. Yes, I might have the odd moment where I think, oh my God, that was crazy. And what is coming? But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You can do it, and you must always have hope, because as soon as you lose hope, it's 10 times harder. You have to have hope. That's all you need. That and chemo.
Yeah. Hannah, thank you so much. Honestly, those words of positivity, I think will hit a lot of people. And I just really thank you for your time today, and keep doing what you're doing, and all the best with everything else. And thank you for today.
And thank you for having me.
See you. Bye.
Bye. Should I do a tap dance? See?